Hello everyone, my name is Sarafi and I'm happy to meet you all. And today we're going to be continuing Duel Links predictions. Today we're going to be talking about Rin. Rin is the character I made my first short ever on this channel on. She is from Arc V. She is Yugo's significant other, and she is the last of the four the last of the four bracelet girls from Arc V to be added. Now, Rin is a character who plays a wind synchro deck just like Yugo. And interestingly, Speedroids and Windwitches have been combined in a lot of different ways. The two decks complement each other pretty well, and the good news is that the new Windwitch skills seem to allow for Speedroids to be played, so I'm looking forward to that. But let's talk about the anime cards and what Rin did here. So Rin was captured by Yuri very early into Arc V. Yugo only comes to the standard dimension looking for Rin, and most of his motivation is based on trying to save Rin. I mentioned that that Lulu had only dueled 2 or 3 times in Arc V at all, despite being a main character. Rin only duels a single time. The entire anime, she's only shown playing one game, and that's against Yugo. And that is not a lot. Especially for a deck that's so powerful. It's really surprising that they didn't use her character more. I really want to know what happened with Arc V's storyline, where these two characters were held back for 2 whole seasons, and then when they were brought in, they were basically just folded away into nothingness. But Rin's character is just like Yugo. She's very brash. She's very excitable. She likes to play on a dual runner. She built the dual runner with Yugo so that they could compete in the Friendship Cup together. And she's, headstrong, happy. I would say that her and Yugo's relationship is the second most explicit of the casts. Selena and Yuri don't know each other at all. Yuya and Zuzu are main characters, so they kind of dance around their feelings for each other the whole time. Yugo obviously really cares about Rin, but we don't see too much of Rin reciprocating, whereas Yuto and Lulu are pretty much it's very obvious the two of them are very into each other. So, that's about all I can say about Rin's character in the anime. She's captured, she gets freed, she's controlled by a parasite, she fights Yugo and then returns to the doctor, and at that point she's just swallowed into Rei, and that's all. And then she becomes Zuzu. There you go. So she's on screen for maybe all of 2 episodes. But her deck is coming to Duel Links, so let's talk about it. The cards that Rin is confirmed to have used in the anime include Windwitch Ice Spell. Windwitch Ice Spell is a level 3 spellcaster monster. If you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then you can special summon one Windwitch monster from your deck, but it cannot be tributed. That is an insane effect. So, just like how Shari Red works, you special summon the monster from your hand as part of the effect, then you continue the effect. So, since the monster effect is activated in the hand, you cannot negate it with a card like Effect Veiler. It's just going to summon itself and then summon another monster from your deck, all from your hand. So if you want to try and stop this, you're going to need something like Draco Berserker the Tangy or Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, an ability to stop a monster effect from well outside of the board. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck the turn you activate this effect except level 5 or higher wind monsters. So no Link monsters, no Xyz monsters. Excellent. I'm glad for the lock. If this card is normal or special summon, you can inflict 500 damage to your opponent. Now, Konami is taking an interesting turn here. The 2 skills that they've released for Windwitches say that you can't burn your opponent with any cards other than Windwitch cards. I'm wondering if that's an indication that they'll actually release Windwitch without any sort of damage nerf and see how it goes. Obviously, you could just play Windwitch without the skill, but it's not like Windwitch's burn is particularly egregious. It's definitely nothing like Trickstar's. You burn for 500 a turn. So that is very interesting that they chose to include that line. I'm not sure what it means. You can only use each effective Windwitch Ice Spell once per turn. This card is insane. Make no mistake, this card is ridiculous. So you're going to play this card at 3. However, the skill indicates... So the skill says that you can take either... I can't remember if it was either Glass Spell or Freeze Spell. No, it was Snow Bell. You can take either Snow Bell or Chimes and shuffle them back into the deck to add Ice Spell to your hand. So that's making me wonder if Ice Spell is going to be a level-up card that's limited to 1. It's possible. That card is extremely powerful, and if they give you a skill that basically gives you 6 extra copies of it, then they can justify, like, oh, you can still play Windwitch. You just can't play Ice Spell more than once, which is fair. Ice Spell, one of the biggest problems with Ice Spell is that it has massive recovery potential. It allows you to Synchro Summon with basically 1 card in your hand from turn 2 onwards, which, while, you know, a lot of decks have recursion and you know, can do things like Orcust, Windwitch is, you know, they have a lot of burn, they have a lot of protection effects, so maybe Konami is kind of worried that they'll become a very powerful stall deck if you have more than 1 copy of Ice Spell. Of course, they could just be releasing a ridiculously broken skill and also give us 3 copies of Ice Spell. What do I know? So, we'll see. In addition to Ice Spell, she played Fusion Parasite, which is in the game already. Fusion Parasite, as a quick review, is a monster that... It's a level 1 monster, and when it's summoned, you can special summoned, you can fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck using fusion monsters you control as material, including this card, and it substitutes itself as like a fusion material. So she uses that to make Windwitch Crystal Bell, which is a level 8 Windwitch Spellcaster fusion monster that's a fusion of Windwitch Winter Bell and a Windwitch monster. You can target one monster in either player's graveyard until the end phase. This card's name becomes that target's original name and replace this effect with that target's original effects. So basically it allows you to like use another effect of Winter Bell or Diamond Bell to burn your opponent for more, which is fair. If this card in your possession is destroyed by your opponent's card and sets the graveyard, you can target a Windwitch Winter Bell and 1 level 4 or lower Windwitch monster in your graveyard and special summon them. You can only use each effect once per turn. So, getting Winter Bell back is dumb. Winter Bell is a very powerful card. So, you're definitely not going to play Fusion Parasite in Windwitch, but you may play Polymerization. Unlike the Assembled Nightingale nonsense, like using Xyz monster as fusion material is dumb because you lose all the overlay units, and you lose all the opportunities to continue using the effects. But a synchro monster can just fire off its effect and then get fused away. So this is like a much better card than the Fusion Parasite card for Lulu. So if we get this card, and I assume we will, you might play it. It might actually be pretty good for burning people. So, yeah, we'll see. Then she also plays Lucky Pied Piper, which is in Duel Links as well. Not a particularly interesting card. Lucky Pied Piper, a fairy wind Gemini monster. You normal summon it, and when you normal summon it, it's treated as an effect monster with when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, draw a card. You would never play this with Windwitch. Bad card, don't worry about it. Alright. Next monster she used is Windwitch Snowbell. This is a level 1 spellcaster tuner monster. If you control 2 or more wind monsters and no non-wind monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. A wind synchro monster that was summoned using this card as synchro material cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Fair. So yeah, this will probably be a really good card because it basically protects your monsters from being destroyed, and it's level 1, so you can use this with your Winter Bell to go into Diamond Bell, which you need. So this is going to be your main synchro climbing tool. The skill encourages you to play 3 of it, so you're going to play 3 of it, and that's fine. Next up we have... That's it for the monsters. That is all the monsters she summoned in terms of main deck. Then obviously she played Synchro Monsters, and the Synchro Monsters that she only played Winter Bell. Okay. Windwitch Winter Bell. Level 7, 1 tuner plus 1 or more non-tuner wind monsters, so you can make this with Speedroids. You can target one Windwitch monster in your graveyard and inflict damage to your opponent equal to that target's level times 200. So if you use level 3 and a level 4 to make this, you could burn your opponent for 800. Solid. That'll probably be halved. 400 damage is still a tenth of their life point total. It's respectable. During the battle phase, as a quick fight, you can target one Windwitch monster you control. Special summon one monster from your hand with a level less than or equal to that monster, but it cannot attack this turn. You can only use each effect once per turn. Now, Windwitch Winterbell, being able to special summon a monster from your hand is very important for the skill, because the skill lets us play Blizzard Bell. And Blizzard Bell is a level 5 with 1800 attack points. So, that'll be interesting. Then she also played, for her spell card, Windwitch Chimes, which was called Chime of the Wind in the anime, I guess. Yeah. Windwitch Chimes. Target one Windwitch monster you control, special summon a Windwitch monster with a different name from your deck in defense position. That is dumb. That is extremely good. You cannot special summon monsters that turn you activate this effect except wind monsters. So what? Just play wind. So you can special summon your Glass Bell, which allows you to immediately draw another card. We'll get into the other Windwitch cards in a second, but this card is insanely good, and the skill wants you to play 3 of it, so we're going to get 3 of these. I'm really excited for this card. I'm hoping it's going to be a drop. This will probably be the UR drop, to be honest, and I'm excited for that. Alright, and then lastly, she played Lost Wind, which you guys are all familiar with. This card is very much in Duel Links. Lost Wind is target one face-up special summon monster on the field, negate its effects, and also its original attack is halved. If a monster is special summoned from your opponent's extra deck while this card is in your graveyard, you can set this card with banish it when it leaves the field. Now, Lost Wind has obviously been in the game already, but it was released in a selection box, so it has to come to the main game at some point. So it's probable that they're going to release Lost Wind in the main box that they release Lulu and Rin in. Cool. So get excited. You guys can get your copies of Lost Wind now if you didn't get them already. 3 copies of Lost Wind is probably going to be pretty decent. It's a pretty good card. Alright. That is all of the cards Rin played, because she dueled 1 time and she crushed her opponent. So, let's talk about the other cards that could come for her. So, we have Windwitch Diamond Bell. Windwitch Diamond Bell is a level 8 spellcaster synchro monster that requires 1 tuner plus 1 or more non-tuner wind monsters. So again, you can play this in Speedroids. Let's go. If this card is synchro summoned, you can target one Windwitch monster in your graveyard and inflict damage to your opponent equal to half its attack points. Okay, so Winter Bell has 2,400 attack points. So that's 1,200 points of damage. Now, it could be half to a quarter. If it is, still 600 points of damage. So if we're looking at half damage for Wind Witches, we have 250 from Ice Bell, 400 from Winter Bell, and 600 from Diamond Bell. It's going to be 1,250 still. So you're still looking at quite a bit of burn damage on turn 1. Don't get it twisted. Once per turn, if your opponent takes battle or effect damage, you can target 1 card on the field and destroy it. So you burn your opponent during their turn, and then you can pop their cards. Really solid. It does say if, not when, so it does not miss timing. And if you control this card that was synchro summoned using only Windwitch monsters as material, you can use this effect up to twice per turn. So you burn your opponent twice, you pop 2 of their cards. Guess what? No one's going to read that last part. They're going to see once per turn, they're going to be like, okay, cool. And then you hit them with the second one, and they're going to be like, what? It says once per turn. Why game bug? So, I have done this. I have done this in Master Duel. It's hilarious. Windwitch Diamond Bell is an excellent card. I don't know if it's going to come right away. I hope so, because the Windwitch archetype is very small. But, you know, if it comes, then cool. I will definitely play a Speedroid Windwitch deck that focuses entirely on burning my opponent to death. And it will do very well. Next up, we have Windwitch Glassbell. Windwitch Glassbell is the bread and butter of the deck. It is a level 4 spellcaster that is a tuner monster. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add 1 Windwitch monster from your deck to your hand, except Windwitch Glassbell. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except wind monsters. You can only use this effect once per turn. So, what you do, you activate Ice Bell's effect from your hand, you special summon it, then you special summon Glassbell from your deck. Glass Bell draws you Snow Bell. Snow Bell can special summon itself because you control 2 or more wind monsters. Now you have a level 3, a level 4, and a level 1. You can go into your Winter Bell, and then you can immediately go into Diamond Bell. That's it. It's a 1-card Synchro 8 that doesn't use your normal summon. And also burns your opponent for 1250. Cool. Alright, and then of course you can also special summon off of Windwitch Chimes, which will trigger its effect to draw you more cards. So Windwitch Chimes and Windwitch Ice Bell get you Glass Bell, which gets you the rest of your deck. So it's a very good engine. I am telling you guys, Windwitches will be good, even if they have half damage. And if they don't have half damage, I'm gonna fry some people. All right. Let's see what else we got. Windwitch Freeze Bell. If all monsters you control are Windwitch monsters, minimum 1, you can special summon this card from your hand. Level 3 non-tuner. You can only use this effect once per turn. Once per turn during your main phase, you can increase this card's level by 1. A Wind Synchro monster that was summoned using this card as synchro material cannot be destroyed by battle. So, if you want to be cheeky, you can make Freeze Bell with Ice Bell, and then use Snow Bell as your tuner monster. And if you do this, since Snow Bell says a Wind Synchro monster that was summoned using this card cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects, and Freeze Bell makes it so that it cannot be destroyed by battle, you can use a 3, a 3, and a 1 to make a Winter Bell that can burn your opponent every single turn and can't be destroyed by battle or by card effects. And if you want, you can even raise Freeze Bell's level by 1. If you do that, you could just skip right to Diamond Bell. And then, but the problem with Diamond Bell is that while you do get the pop effect, which is pretty good, you can't burn your opponent every single turn. But it does have 2800 attack points, so maybe you'll just beat them down. Both options, being able to have an indestructible boss monster is pretty cool. Obviously, it can still be banished. Obviously, it can still be bounced and spun. But indestructible is, the dream. So people like indestructible cards. It's very easy to understand. So cool. Let's see. Next up, we have Windwitch Blizzard Bell. This is a level 5 tuner monster. If you control no monsters or all the monsters you control are Windwitch monsters, you can normal summon this card without tributing. That's terrible. Do not do that. During your opponent's main phase, if you control a Windwitch monster other than Blizzard Bell, you can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard to inflict 500 damage to your opponent. You can only use this effect once per turn. So, the reason why the skill lets you add this card to your hand from outside your deck is so that you can trigger Diamond Bell's effect. Your opponent plays a card, you discard the Blizzard Bell, you burn them for 500, and then you get to target a card on the field and destroy it. Cool, that's some good interaction. Easy way for you to get burn and also pop a card. And that's not like the most amazing interaction, but since it is actually killing your opponent slowly, it doesn't have to be. You put your opponent on a clock when you're playing Windwitch. Even if you can't beat them on turn 1, you put them at such a low health, and then you have Ice Spell to follow up with, that they really have to beat you on the turn 2, or else they're gonna lose. That's kind of the risk of having like a good burn deck. And that's it. That is all of the Windwitch cards. Okay, good video. My name is Serafi, and I was thrilled to have all of you with me.